Joan, I'm getting ready for you, and I hope you're getting ready for me. It's going to be fun.
Hello, welcome back. I'm so glad you're with me again. I'm Joan Rivers, and this is another episode of my show, In Bed with Joan. And as you know, I never know who my guest is going to be, which is very exciting. All I do, because we're in California now, I say what everyone says in California. Let's see who's coming out of the closet. Hello,
Hi, it's me.
Belinda Carlisle. All right, okay.
Hi.
Come sit on the bed. How nice to see you.
Nice seeing you.
It's been so long.
It has
Last
been.
time I saw you, you probably don't even remember. We were in the Westbury Hotel in New York, and you looked so cute. You were wearing like a little straw sailor hat. You don't remember that at all?
I remember that hat.
But
I
you
do.
looked-
That was like 1987 or 88.
Yeah, look at that.
Exactly. No,
Yeah.
I know my years.
And you look just the same.
Oh, thank you.
Really, plastic surgery?
A
Good
little-
food?
No, you know something? When I did Ulthera, I tried that. That was amazing.
What was that?
It's like that thing where they heat your skin up and it builds collagen.
And
That's the only thing I've done. I do Botox on occasion, but that's it.
Botox is like God's gift.
I think it can be really good. I think.
Yeah, I think it was very bad for Nicole Kidman because everything's done.
Well-
But within
Within reason, there's nothing wrong with it. Yeah.
nothing is wrong with anything within
No,
reason.
exactly.
All right, now let me
Exactly.
ask you. We always do this because they come on for free. So we always. What do you want to plug? First of all,
Okay.
This is the new album.
It's a new best
Ish?
of. It's ish, yeah, ish. It has a new. It's a new best of album. It has a new single on it, which I never thought that I wanted to do another more pop music. But my son found the song that his friend wrote. It was really good, and I thought, it would take something really great for me to do something again, and so I recorded it, and it's on the album.
You were born to be, you only have to see. You are the sun. You are the sun.
Now, how do you just say? So I recorded it. Do you have to call somebody? Do you call up like Clive Davis and say, "I have this song. I want to record it"? I mean, how does that work?
Well, the music industry is so different than it was even last time I had an album out was 6 years ago. I was looking at different formats to put it out because you really don't have to do record companies anymore. You can put things up on iTunes and you can put things up on YouTube or Facebook, and there's no set way anymore. With this, I happen to have a deal still with Universal, and it just made sense to do it this way.
Because if the Go-Go's were starting now, today, do you think they would have been the hit that you guys were?
No way. No way.
Why not?
Because back then, the music industry used to be about developing artistry and nurturing artists. I mean, and when we started, we had no idea how to play our instruments or how to plug in instruments to a guitar or into amplifiers. So, I mean, we started from nothing. We learned as we went along, and these days, that would never work.
How did you get together? There were five.
Five
Yeah,
girls.
right, because I was trying to remember my life. How did you get together? How did the group finally emerge?
Well, we started back in 1977 in the LA punk scene when there was like 50 kids. And we were sitting at a party on the curb one night drinking beer. We thought, let's form a band. Okay, what are you going to do? And I wanted to play bass, but somebody tapped that. So I had a choice of playing the drums, and I was way too lazy for that, or singing. And I had never done that, but I thought, why not? I'll try that.
Was there jealousy when you were the one that was in front? Had to be.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's pretty normal. Usually, people tend to focus on the lead singer in a band, and there's a lot of that through the years.
Still?
I'd like to think that we've all kind of gotten over that sort of thing, but yeah, I think we've been together for 35 years.
On a scale of 1 to the Spice Girls. How do you get along? Because the Spice Girls, if you remember watching them at the Olympics, the body language was fascinating. You be one, and I'll be Victoria.
Okay.
You just smile at me.
Oh, there's been times when it's been like that in the Go-Go's, believe me. there's been quite a few times. I mean, now, like I said, it's like I always describe the Go-Go's as one big, happy, dysfunctional family.
Yeah, okay. It's great. It's great. Is there one girl that you're friendly with?
Oh, gosh. I mean, we're all friendly, but I think...
Like Cycle Sister?
Well, I have to say, I talk to Gina all the time on the phone, who is hysterical. She's she's probably the funniest person I know. Besides you, of course.
Of course. How would their lives and how have your life? You look back now. Who's had a good life? Who's had a sad life of the group? Your life is pretty good.
I have an amazing life.
Yeah.
And I think everybody would think that their lives are pretty amazing, too. I mean, everybody's done and accomplished what they wanted to do individually. And whether that's write score, movie, a score, do musical scores for movies.
Let me take this off because
Okay.
we're a very cheap show and they can't redo the sound.
Okay.
Okay, I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. No, it's everybody's happy with their lives. So I wouldn't say that one's more successful than the other because everybody's really happy.
What about marriages? Have they all managed to marry? Anybody lesbian? Any dyke there? Usually drummers are dykes. Usually drummers are dykes.
Ringo, big lesbian.
Ringo, what a lesbian. Oh my God, he made Chaz Bono look feminine,
My lips are sealed.
On stage now, because you get back together. Did you ever really split? Because for a while,
Oh, yeah.
I thought you split.
Yeah.
And you went your own merry way.
Yes. We split in 1985, and we were split up for 4 years.
Because that's right. That's what I remembered. And then
Yeah.
who made the overture?
Well,
and is it hard to call and say, maybe we should get back together? I'm sorry I called you a bitch and a cunt.
we
That's
had
hard.
those conversations. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, it was of all people, it was Jane Fonda who approached us to do a benefit, and we thought, oh, it's kind of cool that she approached us to get back, to do this thing for some environmental initiative. So I have to kind of blame her for us getting back together.
Was she nice?
She's totally nice.
yeah.
She's yeah.
Because for a while there, she was in her, what was it, Black Panther stage? Remember that?
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah. And then she was, Jane has had a very
Oh,
interesting
Hanoi
life.
Jane. That's what it was. Yeah.
Hanoi Jane.
Exactly.
Yeah. Hanoi Jane.
Oh, I love those years.
Who's had no work done. She cries, the tears go down her back. But that's a whole other story. Your life, let me go first, private life,
Okay.
and then public life.
Okay.
I know your husband, who I adore.
Yeah, he's here too.
I
somewhere.
know. And your husband is Morgan Mason. Mm-hmm. And you've been married how long?
Oh gosh, for almost 29 years.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, and he's here, and we still get along great.
Yeah, isn't that great? Did you think? How did you know that he? Because no marriage lasts like that anymore.
No, well, we knew right off. I mean, we had a first date. I moved in the next day. It just seemed like the most natural, normal thing to do. Everybody thought it was crazy, of course, but we thought it was perfectly normal.
You moved in literally the next day?
The next day, yeah.
I love this.
Yeah,
That's
it was just one of
fabulous.
those things, yeah. It was meant to be.
A nice place? Or he came to yours?
Oh, I went to his place.
Much better.
Yeah,
much
much
better.
better.
Oh, and your father-in-law was, and a lot of you don't know who I'm talking about now, James Mason.
Right.
And you should Google him immediately because he was one of the great romantic and then character English actors.
Yes, yeah, he was. I met Morgan about 6 months after he died, but he was one of my favorite actors, James Mason, for sure.
And your mother-in-law was a wild, did you know her?
Oh, yeah.
Wild, crazy English eccentric who gave amazing parties and everybody loved
Every
her.
night. Every night there was a party.
Yeah.
Every night.
And how did he grow up in that environment?
Well, he was taught to, how to make the perfect cocktail at age 7. So he grew up with that, and it's very, it was just second nature to him being around those people, Rex Harrison and Elizabeth Taylor, and I mean, all the old stars. I got to meet a lot of those people.
Now, what about
pretty
you?
wild.
Where do you come from?
I come from the other side of the tracks.
A very quiet family.
Very quiet family. Very normal Americana, Thousand Oaks, California. I was born and raised here, and very super normal.
Yeah. What was the biggest thing that you two had to overcome in your marriage? Or there was none that you could think of?
Something? We come, he was in the White House when I had, like, pierced, everything and green hair. And he was a special assistant to the president then.
And the president was?
Reagan at the time.
Reagan. So
Yeah.
Very conservative. The reason I'm asking is you have to see Morgan. He's a gentleman. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
An elegant gentleman from English parents.
In the beginning, there was some, I had some substance abuse issues that I had to get over, but that was a big obstacle.
Now, how did you, and I wasn't going to get to that yet.
Yeah.
But so many of my friends are in the program, how did you know it was rock bottom, that you had to turn yourself around?
I had to hit a couple rock bottoms. I thought, well, first of all, the first time around, my version of sobriety wasn't really what anybody else. I mean, I could do everything except for, Coke.
Right.
So I could smoke pot, I could take pills, I could do hallucinogens, but as long as I stayed away from that, I was sober. And I did it for everybody else except for myself. That was the problem. Second time around, which was I'll be 8 years sober next month.
Fabulous.
Which
Yes.
I had a long run.
Yes, that's amazing.
A very long run of drugs and alcohol. So that was a spiritual bottom, and I think that for me was much more painful than any sort of material bottom that I could hit.
And you had children already at that point.
I had a 11-year-old or 12-year-old at the time.
You only have one child? Mm-hmm. Oh, so you're like Melissa.
Yeah, one's enough for me.
One's enough. And a son, which
Yeah.
is like the
No, he's-
special bond
yeah.
between mother and son.
Absolutely, yeah.
And he's gay?
Yes, he's gay. He came out to me
How did
when
you-
he was
oh,
14.
He came at that. Did you know before? Because Melissa has Cooper, my grandson, has a friend, and the parents knew at 4, and they were wonderful about it. Everything, swell, let's go. Did you realize before he realized?
I had a few hints along the way, and so it wasn't really a big surprise, except I was driving, and he said, "I have to tell you something," and his tears started welling up in his eyes, and he goes, No, I'm not going to say it now. And I said, "Now you have to." And I was driving, and he said, "I like boys." And I went, "Arr!" And I had to pull over this side of the road. Even though 90% of my friends are gay and lesbian, I still had to, sit with it. And it wasn't a shock, but, I have a gay son, and I had to process that.
And you know how lucky you are.
I'd
you
rather have a gay
understand
son
that?
than a straight son.
Oh.
I can't imagine having, a straight son now. I really can't.
I was praying Melissa would be a gay son, and I'm not making a joke.
I
Who else is going to say to me when I'm old, "Did you know Judy Garland?" It's just...
Well, my son, he loved I Love Lucy. He loved Lon Chaney. He used to insist that I order what 5-year-old, wants to watch Lon Chaney movies and watch Lucille Ball. And Paul Williams, the musician.
yes.
I mean, and also we had to take him to Phantom of the Opera 8 or 9 times.
Oh, that's great.
So Andrew Lloyd Webber. So I think, it wasn't a big surprise.
And he's so cute. He's upstairs.
He's adorable.
He's adorable.
Yeah.
How old is he?
He's going to be 21 next month.
And what do you think he wants to do?
Oh,
Does he know?
Yes. Well, of course he wants to be an actor, but
Well, he's good looking enough.
yeah.
And the heritage.
Yeah, he has the heritage. But I think ultimately, I think he has a big future in political science. He does a lot of gay activism, and he was a surrogate for Obama this past year, election. And he's very eloquent. He uses words that even I don't understand. So he's super smart, and I think that's going to be his path.
It's so. I love there's something with mother-son bonding that's just. I see that Melissa and Cooper, which is so good. Now I'm going to ask you, changing the subject again because you're so musical. Let's talk about some of the current people. What you think of them?
Okay.
Because I know nothing except that I've interviewed a lot of them. All right, Gaga, is she here to stay or is she a flash in the pan?
I think she's really talented. She's here to stay.
She's here to stay. Okay. Adele,
I think she's here to stay too.
should she lose weight?
I think she's gorgeous the way she is.
Would you want to have that body?
No, but I
Okay,
think
that's all. That's all.
No, I wouldn't myself. No, but I think it suits her, and I think she's beautiful. She's a
I think
really
the
beautiful
face is so
Yeah,
beautiful.
she's gorgeous.
But she can't see her feet.
My name was always mentioned in conjunction with how much I weighed. I was pretty and plump, cute, chubby. It was always like that. For me, it really, really messed me up very badly.
But look at you now.
I'm
now
normal.
you're gorgeous thin.
I'm just normal, which I'm fine with the way I am.
Rihanna.
I don't think she's here to stay. I think she's really cute, but I think that to me it's more about production, and she looks good.
Yeah, she looks great.
She's amazing looking. Yeah.
That's and Beyonce, because everybody, Beyonce, Beyonce, Beyonce.
Oh, I think she's here to stay.
She's here to
I think
stay.
she's amazing. Yeah.
Who do you think shouldn't be here?
There's plenty of those.
No.
But my mom always said, if you don't have anything nice to say about
Sit by
somebody,
me. You know that expression. If you haven't got anything nice to say, sit by
gosh.
me. You were telling someone back upstairs, they told me just now, that you said you're successful in parts of the world that you have no idea that you would be successful. And
Right.
You go to places, tell them. She goes to places apparently where they'll say, we love you in Russia.
Yeah, sometimes I'll have one of my more obscure songs will be a hit in some weird place like Ukraine or Russia.
And you go, how often you guys get together and do tours?
Well, I work at the Go-Go's about once a year, and I work all the time on my own,
Yes.
all over the world. In fact, at the end of March, I took 4 months off for the first time in 30 years.
And were you happy or were you going crazy?
I was so traveled out, and I could, if I really stopped for a moment to think about how tired I was, I'd want to cry. In fact, how do you do it?
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm really fascinated how you do it. Do you ever stop to think that maybe you're tired?
No, because if you stop to think, you'll
break
realize
burst
you're
into
tired.
tears. Yeah, exactly.
What do you take with you? Like I have one suitcase, and in it is always, no matter what, there's the alarm clock, there is the adapter.
Right.
There's certain things, and that no one is ever to unpack that suitcase. Do you have that kind of a life? Because I have that kind of a life.
Yeah. No, I live out of a suitcase mostly.
Yeah.
I mean, my life has been like that, and I have everything is I have the same sort of pattern of packing that I've always had, and if there's anyone thinks there's a few things that I can't be with that, but I'd say the first thing that comes to my mind is my moisturizer.
Interesting. The first thing that comes to my mind is my lubricant because of my vaginal dryness. But we're not going there. I'll save that for the Betty White interview because that'll take up half of it. Dancing with the Stars.
Oh, God.
I know, but I had to bring it up. You were first one off. And,
Yeah.
But I was going in my head when I was watching you. A lot of musicians don't have dancing talent. I mean,
Right.
Elton John does not, and he is one of the greats. Donna Summers would stand in front of a microphone. Barry Manilow, who's a very good friend of mine, isn't a mover.
No.
You know, did anyone ever say to you, maybe you don't have that kind of rhythm?
No, they assumed that I did, and I kind of assumed that I did too, because I can dance a certain way, but that's a whole other, it's a whole other thing. And on top of that, I mean, I was hoping I'd be like, not first week, but second week I wanted to be off.
Yeah.
First week's a little bit embarrassing, but Second week, I told Denise Richard, I am out of here. Second week, I can't do this. I just don't, I really don't like it.
Did you get at least to lose weight? Because I look at that and
I
think,
did.
how
I lost
lucky.
a few pounds.
Yeah. See,
Yeah.
that's great. They're making you dance. They're making you
Yeah,
dance.
yeah. I enjoyed the rehearsal, but I didn't. That was like the scariest thing I've ever done in my whole life. It was horrible.
And do you get to choose your partner, or they?
They choose your partner, and you get to sort of be creative with your costumes, which is fun.
Did you get to keep the Who does your costumes on stage, and how have they changed? What did you wear originally, and what do your fans expect to see you in?
Well, I think my friends are basic. Well, I don't know. I used to dress up in thrift store, like square dance dresses and tiaras and torn stockings back. That's where I started. Now it's all about comfort. It's capris and shirts and flats. I mean, I can't. I can't. It's just about comfort. I think a lot of my fans probably complain about what I wear because it's usually monochromatic and very. It's just about comfort for me.
And what do you give your fans that they want, and what do you give your fans that you want to give them? Am I making sense? You know, it's like Barbara Cook was telling me, half her set are songs they expect her to sing.
Right.
And half her set are songs she just says, I want to sing.
I do that about. It's about 75-25. I mean, actually, it's weird because through the 35 years of doing this, I have a huge catalog of hits from all over the world.
And do they expect you?
And they expect me to do most of them, and I do because it's fun for me. I mean, there's a few songs that are, again,
Such as?
We Got the Beat but we change it up and make it funny for ourselves, but those are the songs that put you on the map, so you have to do them.
You know, somebody just said to us, weren't you two on the Tonight Show in the mid-'80s? And how great that is. We're still sitting here, and
I know.
as my manager says, relevant.
Yeah.
You're still relevant, Joe.
Relevant.
You're still relevant. That's when you were single, and you were a star and fabulous looking. What celebrity did you sleep with? That was great. No. I had an affair with Robert Mitchum, and now that he's dead, I'm thrilled to say it. Nobody even knows who he was anymore. Look him up after James Mason.
Robert Mitchum?
Yeah.
Oh my God, he was.
Yeah, he's great.
He was
great.
gorgeous. He had
Yeah.
something.
And he was a poet.
He was amazing.
Yeah.
That would have been a hard one to.
Yeah. And I was single. And I thought,
Yeah. Why not?
Well, I wasn't really single, but I was single. I was single enough. Last question.
Okay.
You live half the time in France.
Yeah.
Do you speak French?
Yeah. I did a whole album in French 6 years ago. It did really well.
How great is that?
It's pretty amazing.
The five of you, all together on the road, which you were telling me about, it reaches a point where if you're out for a long time, you do get nuts. Did you have to go to therapy? Did you ever all go to therapy?
No, but it was funny. A couple years ago, we were offered a reality show about, it's in session with the Go-Go's. Like, I guess in the sort of vein as that Metallica documentary.
Right.
And I just said, no way. That would be frightening. Absolutely frightening.
And did some of the girls want to do it?
Yes, and I didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
No way.
And you would have been the key.
Oh, I'm sure I would have been made to look like the big bad lead singer.
Or the big, you could also be.
Or the queen from France.
Yes, the queen.
She's coming. She's coming from France.
Or you could be the benevolent one. Hello, girls. Oh, you all look so old.
As I drop my Dior bag in the corner.
Or only speak French to them.
I know. Bonjour. Ça va?
How much longer do you think you're going to... People always ask me that.
I know.
And I want to drop in the middle of a show. You know what I mean? But I want to drop in a concert, but more than halfway, because then they have to pay you. Do you know about that clause?
No, I don't.
If you die, if it's an hour concert, and you die in the first 29 minutes, it's a wash for the producer. But if you die 31 minutes or more, They got to
They
pay
pay
you.
you.
So the whole thing is hang on.
I love that. That's so funny.
Hold on to that stool and just
hysterical.
try to look like it doesn't hurt.
That's so funny.
I love you. You're such a pleasure. Thank you
Oh,
so
thank you
much.
so much.
Oh, Belinda Carlisle, everybody. That was very, very interesting now what happened because, and probably only women will understand it. We were feeling each other out. We really didn't like each other particularly. And it was all very polite, and she was giving very nice answers, and I was asking questions that she wasn't going to really tell me the truth. And then we started to laugh, and it broke everything. And at the end, I just think she's adorable.